Welcome to Unmute Yourself. I'm your host, Jennifer Carter, and I am so glad you're here. This podcast is about lifting the curtain on leadership, purpose, and the real stories behind people who dared to do things differently. We'll talk about how they found their path, the struggles they faced, and how they built something that truly matters. These are everyday people doing extraordinary things, and I want you to know you are capable of that too. For today's conversation, I'm honored to welcome Robyn Fleming, the founder and executive director of Share the Love Outreach Organization, grassroots nonprofit working to minimize the effects of poverty in the lives of children. Robyn has spent more than a decade in the nonprofit sector, leading community programs, fundraising efforts, and outreach initiatives that bring people together for one powerful mission, helping each other succeed. Since launching Share the Love, she's already served over 1,000 children through annual gift drives, book giveaways, and family support initiatives. What makes Robyn's story so inspiring is that she's building this movement while still working a full-time job. And she is proof that purpose doesn't have to wait for perfect timing, that you can take small, steady steps, ask for help, and build something that truly makes a difference. Robyn, I am thrilled to have you here today. So let's start at the beginning. What
Hey.
first inspired you to create Share the Love?
Well, I've always been into helping others. That's how I was raised. That's what I've believed in. And so through working in ministry at church, I've always helped others. And so during 2020, when we had the pandemic, I wanted to reach out and help others in some kind of way. And so it started with just a Christmas gift giveaway, reaching out to friends and family to see anybody in need, anybody who would want to support. And the response was overwhelming. Everybody just participated. And because it was COVID, I shipped gifts online, and that's how we did. And I served over 100 kids. And from there, it just blew up. And so that's how I created Share the Love Outreach Organization. And I did that in 2022. We became an official 501c3 organization.
That is amazing. Like it just started with a dream and to help someone, and then it just kind of blew up, right? So, do you remember the moment that you knew that it needed to become something bigger?
Yes, it was the next year. I did it 2 years after COVID. And the response was so good. I was getting so much money in that I said, I have to make this formal. And the response was like, are you helping the kids again? How can we help? And so I said, this was what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to help others, but I wasn't sure that I had the skill set. I didn't have the official degree. I didn't have everything to make it happen. But that catapulted me because the need was there. And I said, you know what? I think I can do this. And that's what made me do it.
Oh my gosh. So I hear folks say, I want to start a nonprofit and that's my dream, right? And so when you did that, like those early days, even like when you first launched it, what surprised you the most about starting a nonprofit from scratch?
Well, it's a lot of information out there, and it's no excuse, really. I'm definitely a researcher. I love to research information, and I figured I can find this information out for myself. So I went on the internet. I looked at all the state registration websites, researched everything, and everything I needed was there. It was even like step one, step two, step three. And so I just worked it. And that surprised me because I thought it would be more complicated. And it really was easier for me to, just navigate it online.
I'm like, we think that things are going to be harder than what they are, but once we start taking action, it's like it all just unfolds before us.
Absolutely. And then I have administrative skills. So that's my profession. And so I was able to, utilize those skills. And I've worked in the nonprofit sector as an executive assistant to an executive director before. So I kind of knew some of the things to look for in a board and how to run the board and an organization from that. And then I just researched the rest.
And you made it happen.
Yes,
While
absolutely.
having a day job, and
Yes.
I don't even remember how we met, but I remember when I first met you, you just inspired me so much of doing this. So tell us, you are balancing your day job and leading a nonprofit. How do you manage that balance and keep your momentum going?
Well, one, I keep my momentum going because of the people that I interact with every day. The need is there. And that keeps me going because if I don't do this, they won't get the help that they need. And two, I just navigate it by knowing that, okay, what can I do? How can I manage this so I don't bite off more than I can chew? So I started by having one program a year. I started with the Christmas gift giveaway. And so I have a format. The areas that I want to have impact in are impact areas. And so I build on each one of those categories every year. So we have our summer sacks full of books giveaway. That was an addition. And that's focusing on literacy because my organization is focused on helping children in education, So we did the Summer Sacks full of books. That's our annual event now. We also want to help teens, our teen girls, empower them, help them to learn more about hygiene and motivate them. So we created the Grow and Glow for Teen Girls Workshop. So that's another program. So I do it step by step so that
Mhm.
I can manage it and do it well. And so as I go, I build on it and continue to improve on it. And that's how I pretty much juggle the day to day.
Got it. So you don't try to do everything all at once.
Right.
You fine tune one thing, get really, really good at it, and
Yes,
then add on top of it.
absolutely. And consistency is key because you're building your reputation and your brand. So you don't want to put in a whole bunch of stuff and people are like, oh, that wasn't good or that was sloppy. So perfect the small things first and keep building till it makes it great. And you're building your reputation from there.
Will you talk more about consistency and what that means to you and how that served you in this role?
To be consistent because it's about expectation. The people are expecting from you. They need something. And so it's important that you provide something on a consistent basis. And I don't overpromise. Underpromise, overdeliver. So for me, that's important because it's about reliability. Don't promise something and don't follow through. That's
Mm.
something that's important to me personally. And so when I reach out to people, I'm not doing this just for my own monetary gain. I'm doing this to help others meet the need because I know what it's like not to have and to need support. And so just be consistent, have integrity, be resolute, follow through with what you can follow through. Don't offer nothing that you can't. And that's what I expect from people in life. And that's what I give to others.
Yeah, that can be so hard to do, right? Because people wanna help, they don't know how to help, and then they're like, "We can do
Right.
this," and then they get into it, and they're like, Actually can't do this, I'm gonna back out."
Right.
So
And
how do
it's
you
okay.
decide?
Because you have to realize that everything you do matters. I don't care if it's $5 a month, $10 a month. Whatever you do, it matters. So it's better for you to tell me I can do five, and then tomorrow maybe you can do 10, because that five is still going to make an impact. And I think people feel like they have to do more, so much more. And that's what I thought. I have to have a degree. I have to have the experience. I have to have the everything, but you don't need everything to get started. You just need the vision, you need the goal, you need everything to finish. As you go, you will get there. And so believe in yourself and believe in what you can contribute. What you contribute has value. And that's why one of our mottos are together we can.
Mm.
Because your $5, my $5, your volunteering hours, mine adds up. So together we can do this.
Now, you mentioned something else, right? Like every little thing makes a difference and, figure it out as you go and ask for help. I see people waiting for the perfect time, right? When life slows down or all these
Hmm.
plates stop spinning. So, for people waiting to find the perfect time to make a change or start something meaningful, what would you say?
You'll never have the perfect time.
You will never have the perfect time,
It'll
Robyn.
never be the right time. It'll never be perfect. You have to take advantage. I had one teacher that told me take advantage of every opportunity when it comes. And I had another mentor tell me that people always make excuses and say, oh, I don't have the time for this. I don't have the time for that. You make time for what you care about. You make time for what you love and you're passionate about. And I didn't understand it at the time. I was like, I don't have the time. I'm full. I'm busy. But if you take advantage of the opportunity when it comes, and then You do what you have to do and be consistent. And then you manage the expectation and the work that you contribute. Then you can make it happen. So you may not have the time to run a 9 to 5 nonprofit in the office. I can't go into an office right now. I work full time,
Right.
So no, I don't have the time for that. But I do have the time to work remotely, plan a 1 day summer Saks Full of Books giveaway, a 1 day Christmas gift giveaway, and impact hundreds of kids. I can do that. So it's find the time for what you can do, you know, and don't feel bad that you can't do it all at one time. You never can do it all at one time.
Oh, right. So you also said you'll find time for things that matter to you.
Yes.
Do you remember when you figured out what mattered to you?
Absolutely. I would say during the pandemic, it was really rough. It was like everything shifted. I felt like the whole world was upside down. Everything, I went in the office every day. I had my career, I was doing things. I had a system, I would negotiate hotel rates. So I would have lunch meetings and, all this stuff that I was doing. And then all of it was gone. So I was working remotely. Didn't have nobody was booking hotels. Nobody was having business meetings, lunch meetings. Nothing, was normal for me. And so I had to figure out who am I? Where do I go from here? How am I going to find meaning in my life again? Because now I have all the time in the you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now things have changed. And so that was the moment when I said, you have no excuse. What are you going to do? And so I tried a couple of things. I actually had a women's group going online. We would have a book club. We would sit and talk about fitness, health. And then I did the Christmas giveaway. And that was my passion. That's when I realized, okay, wait, this is it. I'm actually doing what I've always wanted to do outreach, help people and I'm actually able to do it. And so that's when I said, okay, let me get this going, and go from there. And I was surprised that it was such a success and I love it. And so that's why I can keep doing it, even though it's a lot of work, it's time. It takes a lot of time because what you love, it's not labor for you.
What were the signs that you knew you loved it? Because I see folks like, they'll say, like, I don't have a passion or I don't know what I want to do or what I'm inspired by. How did you know?
Because I could do it through midnight.
Got it.
I could be on my phone at night researching information. I could be typing, just brainstorming. I would read the feedback from the people, and my heart would just lift. No matter what challenges happen, I still was like, oh, I got to do this. And it didn't matter what time of day.
Yeah. So you go, you can work all the time on it. You're super interested. You're
hmm
excited to do the work. Do you ever feel like impatient or frustrated? And how do you handle that when it comes up?
It's a constant challenge because what bothers me is even though I know I can't do it all, I do want to do it all or I want to do more. And so I get frustrated like, we don't have the finances yet to do that. This person needs this and I can't meet that need. And so it's just constantly reminding myself I can only do what I can do. And what I can do is impactful and keep doing that until you can do the next thing. And so my husband is an encourager to me. I have a support system, my girlfriends, and I personally have to remind myself because I get frustrated. I
Mm-hmm.
get upset and like, I could do more. I wish I could do more. If I only had this. But I started this with that mindset because the need is so vast, that you can't possibly meet it all. So you can't go in this thinking, I'm going to be the solution to everybody's problems. You can't. And so you have to make yourself come to some peace. And so that's my mantra. I can only do what I can do, and what I do is impactful. And I just constantly remind myself of that.
It also sounds like you have a great support system of like-minded folks who, help you when you're feeling like frustrated.
Yes.
How did you ever have any haters or people who were like, who do you think she is? Or what is she doing? And how did you handle that?
I've definitely had that. And it hurts at times. And I think I have to believe in myself. You know, I'm the only one that's responsible for what I do in my life. And just because you don't like what I do doesn't mean what I'm doing isn't good. And I'm not going to minimize myself to
Mm.
maximize you, to make you feel better about yourself. So I have to be the best that I can be because when I end my life ends. I want to be able to say that I did everything that I could do, that I wanted to do, and that I made a difference in the world. And I cannot let other people stop me from being that person. So it hurts. Sometimes you cry, but you keep going. That's
Mhm.
how I deal with it.
Yeah, and what you've accomplished with Share the Love, right? It's grown steadily every single year, and you're serving more families and hosting more events and inspiring more and more people to get involved. So, what has steady growth taught you about leadership and perseverance?
It's productive. When you persevere, when you be consistent, you're productive. When you keep starting and stop, you're not going to be productive. And so, me seeing the constant growth is because I'm consistent. It's because I follow through, I build on it. And that's how you be productive. And that's what's important to me is I started Share the Love to be productive and to make an impact. And it makes me feel good. It's like I'm successful. That's how I gauge my success. Are the people being helped? Are they being helped in a greater way? Am I constantly improving, in the area that I'm in? And so that keeps me going too.
Something I appreciate about you is you ask for help.
Hmm.
Research things you don't know. You take massive action, swift, decisive action. I know when I first met you, I think you were just starting out, right? You had built your website and
Hmm.
when you were rocking and rolling even then. So what what role has asking for help played in your journey? And did you have to like learn to receive support as much as you give it? Because you have such a big heart. You give and you give and you give and you do this for everybody else. So how do you manage that?
So I learned in my career to ask for help because I've started jobs where I didn't have somebody to show me the ropes, and I had to figure it out. So over the years, I got used to networking and asking questions in order for me to be successful in my job. So when I started the Christmas gift giveaway, I reached out to people and they supported. And I said, I can't do this by myself. You
Yeah.
know, I can't make it happen on my own. And so the support from people encouraged me because even to the point where I said, okay, like you said, when I first started, I needed to have the website, I needed to pay the fees and everything. And so I said, let me just ask because I didn't have the finances to do this. And I put it out there and they supported. They was like, "We're going to cover it." And that just really inspired me that I'm not the only one out there
Mhm.
trying to help others and that people believed in my mission and my vision and that they could do something through me. And so if they saw and believed in me, then I said, "You know what? I'm going to keep asking for help because it's showing to be productive and I don't take it for granted. I really have a grateful heart even when I apply for grants, that people believe in my work and they say, okay, we want to support you and contribute. It makes me feel so grateful that, somebody believes in me and wants to help.
Wow. I see folks saying, like, if I ask for help, it's a weakness. And
Mm,
it sounds like you've really amplified the asking for help into amplifying your mission and what you're setting out to accomplish.
yeah.
Do you remember a moment that reminded you that even a small action like a donation or a volunteer or an event really can make a huge difference?
Think one day when I was talking to a parent and I gave her a gift for her son. And it was a big basketball hoop. And when she came in, she was so excited. And I said, I'm sorry I couldn't do more. And she said, what? And she said, to you, it's small, but to me, it's a big deal. And so what that told me was stop minimizing what you do. Stop
Wow.
thinking that it doesn't mean anything because it may be small to you, but to somebody else, it's huge. It's a gift that she could give her son that she wouldn't have been able to give at all. You know what I'm saying? So, whereas I'm saying it's just one gift. She said, I had 0 gifts. That that's inspiring.
That's beautiful. And it means so much for young people and families to be able to give gifts and have the things. And yeah, nobody wants to be cast out or made feel like other ever
Right.
at all.
And to me, asking for help is a strength. You know, I know what it's like to ask for help and feel less than. So I'm not saying this as I've always felt like this. I've been homeless. I've struggled. I've been where you ask for help and people look down on you and you don't want to beg and you're fighting and you're trying to succeed and things aren't working right. And so I've come a long way, and I've been successful. People look at me and they say, you must have been successful over your life, but you have this and that. But I haven't forgotten where I come from. And the thing that I wanted is what I give to other people support. I don't know what you went through. I don't know why you're going through what you went through. But if I can help you get through it, I don't have to know everything. I can just give them my heart, my time, my energy. And what is it costing me? Just a little bit of help. And it makes a difference. And everybody that I encounter, I never want them to feel like they're beholden to me or to our
Right.
organization. I
Right.
want them to feel like this is community. That's one of our, focuses. That's what one of our values. Everybody's our community. The people we serve, the people that support us, volunteers, everybody. So we try to help every single one of them. We serve all of them with a servant attitude. So I want people to feel like this is just community support. This is not just a handout. This is somebody that knows it takes a village, it takes a village to feed your kids. It takes a
Right.
village, to do anything in this world.
So, speaking of that, taking a village to do anything, right? So, if someone listening has a dream on their heart and they want to do something, but they don't know where to start, what would you tell them?
First, start brainstorming. Write it down. What do you want to do? I don't care how silly or crazy it sounds. Write everything that comes in mind. And then finesse it, edit it, look online, research. You can't be afraid to research. The information is there. You may not start out with people readily able to help you. You have to have your stuff together, basically, in a sense of a concrete vision, theme for people to buy into and know what really is going on and to feel your passion. So once you figure that out, then start, coming up with a complete outline and go after it. Whatever look at people that's doing what it is that you want to do. That's another thing that I do. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Go
Right.
find other people that's doing it. And you may not be a part of organizations or, things like that. But again, we have a world wide web. It is so much out there. Facebook. I know they say that's for old people, my little cousins,
I love Facebook. I
but
still love Facebook.
we love Facebook. But Instagram, Insta, what IG, whatever it is, you got the information, figure it out. That's your responsibility. Figure it out. And then just take a step, one step at a time, and you'll get there.
Consistency.
Consistency.
So, this is fantastic. And I know we could talk forever, but I do have a few quick fire questions. Okay. So, just answer with the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay. What's one lesson you've learned you wish everyone knew?
Lesson I learned. One lesson I would say is be honest. Take ownership of your what you do. If you mess up, own it. So that's all. It's a couple of things, but it all ties in together. Own your stuff, the
Yeah.
stuff that you do, and take responsibility.
Great. If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
You can do this. You can make it happen.
In one sentence, what does leadership mean to you today?
Helping others get where they need to go.
I feel like crying, Robyn. It's beautiful. What's the boldest choice you've made that paid off?
Believing in myself. Yeah.
And finally, what's the next big dream you are chasing?
Building, share the love to be great, greater than it is now.
Just keep going.
Absolutely.
And Robyn, this has been such a powerful conversation. Thank you for sharing your story and your wisdom with us.
Thank
Before
you
we
for
wrap,
having me.
I mean, My gosh, it's great. I'm so glad we got to do this. And I do have two final questions. So if listeners walk away remembering just one thing from this conversation, what do you hope it is?
You are valued, you matter, and you can make it happen.
Beautiful. And on a more personal note, what has it meant for you to share your story here on Unmute Yourself today?
It's just another example of having people support you that believe in you and want to be a part of your life and your mission. It encourages me.
That's great. Good. I'm so glad. And finally, how can listeners connect with you and support your work, whether that's donating, volunteering, or simply amplifying the message? What's the best first step?
First step, visit us online, www.sharetheloveoutreach.com. You can find out about all our programs. You can find out how to donate if you choose to do that. And you can find out how to volunteer. So check us out online.
Thank you again, Robyn, for joining me. And thank you to everyone listening for showing up, reflecting, and for unmuting yourself in your own way. If today's conversation inspired you, please share this episode, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of leaders creating work that truly fits and matters. Until next time, unmute yourself and step into the story only you can tell.